Hi and welcome to another Ask AJ.
A sunny Ask AJ.
Feels hot, you can tell it's hot because of the shirt sleeves rolled up.
Yeah, not the whole story.
What's the whole story?
So we're about to sell, well, in the next 6 to 8 weeks, hopefully, some amazing holiday lets. They can only be holiday lets up in Glenridding with the most beautiful views.
Hannah's just been telling me about them, sound amazing.
Yeah, we've just been up there. And there's quite a lot of loose ground up there. And my foot started to slip and I saved myself. And as I saved myself, it went again. And I fell over and ripped my shirt.
Oh
So-
no!
Although the weather is saving me because I can roll it up and no one knows that I've actually ripped my shirt. But
We hurt your arm?
no.
No.
I landed on my arm. I think it just must stretch
Let's
my
look
shirt.
at the shirt. See if I can. Well, I'll see if I can fix it.
It's too old anyway. It's ready for the bin.
Could be a short sleeve one.
Could be. So.
Well,
you go.
I've had a lovely morning out with Alba and Tess and Joe as well. We're at Bradfell and then we're out to the lovely Urban Food House. If you haven't been to the Urban Food House, which is opposite the Royalty nearly, it's gorgeous. They do the best eggs.
Best eggs.
Best eggs. The eggs are just
Best
something.
eggs.
Yeah,
Full
just
stop.
eggs, yeah.
Or best eggs
Just best eggs.
in LA23.
No, I'm not
talking?
going to qualify. I'm just going to say best eggs.
Best eggs in Urban Food House.
It was very nice. Not home ground for once.
My daughter is a good judge for eggs.
She is. Well, no, that's not true because she eats any eggs.
Yeah, especially Easter eggs. Her favourite.
So that's why I'm a bit cash today.
We bought, on the weekend, I've told everyone in the world, so I may as well tell you guys, I did a half marathon and that's why I can't move properly. And we bought, we went to Manchester and stayed the night and the two kids bought Easter eggs and
It's not Easter yet.
I know, but they're 99 pence. You do, when the kids are there. And Noah wasn't calling it an Easter egg, what was he calling it? It's a rubbish story if I can't remember the...
It is a rubbish story.
What else would he call it? Something egg.
Christmas egg,
No.
chocolate egg.
Kinder egg. I must have said about 20 times. Can I have a Kinder egg? It's not a Kinder egg. It's an Easter egg.
But that's a bit bad actually. In fact, it's funny, isn't it, that we say that you hoover with a Dyson.
Yeah. Do.
Don't you?
Another fact of the day, which I'm sure you've been staying awake at night thinking about this. So, what colour did Walker's Cheese and Onion Crisps used to be?
Used to be, so they're not anymore. Well, okay. So
So they're blue now, cheese and onion.
Yes, they must have been green then.
No, they've never changed. It's a
Well,
myth.
that
It's
is.
a myth.
Yeah, but you can't say
So
that.
Hannah was saying
No,
they
no.
used to be green.
No,
They did.
no.
They didn't.
It's a
It's on the
myth.
Walker's website. They have never changed, not
I'll
once,
tell you
even
something else
as a
as well.
temporarily.
Cream eggs have never changed in sizes. Did you know that? Because I was convinced that a cream egg is half the size it used to be, and it hasn't changed.
My hands are bigger.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they say. Our hands are bigger. My
There
hands
you
are
go.
bigger.
That's the
read it.
important update for today.
So, if we want to talk about properties, if you're bored at this point, I'd go. But let's talk about properties.
With those facts, you cannot be bored. They are. Take them away. Have them for yourselves.
So we've been looking with the team at the statistics for the stock, and by that we mean the number of homes on the market within our radius of, well, within our area, which is a 15-mile radius of Ambleside. So if you take Ambleside, 15-mile radius as the crow flies, it encompasses, so it doesn't quite reach Kendal, which always skews the figures, but it probably does reach Keswick,
Yes.
and then over to, I don't know, maybe Buttermere,
It'll go quite far.
and then to the
Well, that'll go 15
M6
miles.
and then a bit further, go 15 miles as the crow flies, unless the crow's tired. So we took that radius and then we've been collecting data points on that, on the number of properties available, all properties and then over £500,000 and the correlation between the two since October 2019. And we do report on these figures quite often, but what we thought was really interesting to do yesterday is we asked the team to pick some data points and help us interpret them. Because there's no point in having data if we don't interpret it. So we can tell you that in October 2019, there were 840 homes on the market within a 15-mile radius of Ambleside. And as of today,
How many over 500,000?
and over 500,000, well, 18%, so nearly 1 in 5 were over 500,000, so 152. And today, there are 232 properties on the market in its entirety, which is obviously 20% of where it was. and only 67% of those are over 500,000. But that is a larger proportion, which is 30%. Now, there's a few ways we could interpret this, because obviously the team are thinking, well, there's more homes on the market, but
yeah, okay.
But just because there's homes on the market doesn't mean to say that more homes have come to market. It might be less homes have sold.
And you could think that we're 600 down on where we were 2 or 3 years ago, and you could think that no one's selling. But actually, if you look at the amount of sales that have gone through the last year, it's probably higher than what it used to be. So it's quite difficult to take the data at face value and make an assumption. We're trying to plug in our experience and our other data points to get a more accurate picture of what's actually happening.
Yeah, because we just read as well that it's just been reported this morning that transactions are down. So this is property sales all the way going through to completion are down 21% year on year. But that could have been because of the lack of stock. If there aren't enough homes and there's no homes to actually sell, it doesn't mean that homes are selling more slowly or that less homes are selling. It might be there's less homes to sell.
And we were also in lockdown last December and January, so I can't remember the rules, but were you allowed to move at that stage? And
I think you were allowed to move.
February, maybe were, but a lot of people maybe didn't want to. They got to February, it opened up, and they completed. So there's a lot of mitigating circumstances that you've got to plug in. But what we are seeing on the ground, which is probably more important than the data, is that the last couple of weeks, the market shifted from it being really busy at over 1 million to it being extremely busy, just under 1 million, between 600,000 and 900,000, and below. Actually, it's still extremely busy.
Having said that, that we could interpret in a different way. You could say, well, there's more buyers at the lower end, but what you could also say is, well, we had such a demand for the £1 million plus properties that we've plugged that demand now, and we spent the last year focusing on that size property. So we've got a huge portfolio of properties over £1 million, and actually the ones that are just below, we haven't really focused on getting onto the market. So that could be the reason for that being busier.
And it's a natural cycle. It has to be, where the people in houses worth 300, 400, 500, 600,000 are probably going up the ladder, and therefore over the next 2, 3, 4 weeks it'll probably start moving in that direction. And then when you get to 1 million plus, they're probably moving down the ladder. So because it's been so busy at 1 million plus, it's obvious that it's then going to be busier the further down the ladder you go, and it's always going to be a busier market.
I think as well, you know, that feeling of wanting to get out of the urban centres, to get out of London and Birmingham and Manchester and Leeds, etc. I think that knee-jerk need ran out of steam after about a year of the beginning of lockdown. So that would put us on this time last year. And now I think that people are making a more considered move. So it's not just a knee-jerk getting out of London, it's actually a much more considered move. The guy I talked to yesterday, who is coming up from London, he said they've been talking about it for 2 years. In other words, since the beginning of lockdown, but they've only just now decided to start actually going to see homes. Because they didn't want it to be a knee-jerk reaction.
And as people are now realising that it's not quite as crazy as it was. It was like a Black Eye Friday sale for 18 months, wasn't it?
Just say Black Eye. Don't you say Black Friday?
Where's
the eye come from?
It's a different thing, isn't it?
Black Eyed Peas.
That's a whole different thing. Yeah, Black Friday. What?
I don't know.
Nothing Dodge.
Okay.
Just violent.
Yeah, obviously.
Black Eye. Oh, like Black Eye, like Boxing Day.
It's last Friday.
Last Friday before Christmas. That's it. Yes.
Yeah. No, Black Friday.
Black Eye Friday. Well, I don't know. Some buyers were scrapping over homes.
They may have been. Yes. I can't remember what I was going to say now. Yeah, that's how. And so what's happening now?
There was a frenzy.
Is people are starting to see that it's not quite as manic, and they can come and take the time. We're having second viewings. Can't remember the last time we had second viewings.
That's true. We're having unseen offers. In fact, we were having to reject unseen offers because they were unseen, and therefore we were worried, and the owners were worried that person would just, when they viewed it eventually, which they would do, then they would pull out, because that would be the viewing. All they've done is delayed the viewing, really. There's
also, whenever there is something that people are maybe not uncomfortable about, I can't think of the word, where uncertainty, that's the word. There's uncertainty for the future economically. There isn't really an uncertainty to lockdowns anymore, but with everything going on in the Eastern Europe, and then the media control a lot of what we think, and then in terms of what's going to happen financially, and
well, the interest rate rise was a little bit at the wrong time, wasn't it? Because
yeah,
you kind
it's
of
premature, in my
interest rate rise and Ukraine happened at pretty much the same time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to actually. He's on about now, isn't he? Hopefully, sorry.
Who?
Sunak. Hopefully, he'll announce something that he's going to do. So
Right.
energy prices rise ridiculous.
The lowering fuel costs.
Are they,
By 5
the
pence.
tax?
Yeah, the tax.
Yeah.
5 pence.
Yeah, that's what. So that actually, what will happen is over the next few weeks, fuel will probably plummet as the UAE open up outlets and Saudi, etc.
Do you know, I remember some of our watchers will remember as well. Fuel prices hitting £1 a gallon.
It was 99p when I passed my test.
A gallon.
litre.
A
Yeah.
gallon.
Yeah.
So what is it? 4 litres in a gallon? 25p.
My
a
electric
litre.
car is absolutely fine. But so what uncertainty does, it obviously it puts a section of the market off from doing anything. They want to. They work very hard for their
they
money,
hunker down a
they,
little bit.
yeah, they do absolutely. Whereas in any crisis like we're in at the moment, there are a certain sector of every market which makes a lot of money. If you're in oil at the moment, gas in any of that field, if you're
Troops logistics.
if you're in weaponry or anything like that, you're going to make quite a lot of money. As we had a few buyers that had hand sanitizer companies, did quite well over the last few years, and so they then get new money, and people love to spend new money, and therefore that opens up a new market that way. But what we'd like is just a nice, quiet
Steady market.
Let's just have a year where no one does anything, no one invades anyone, no
Good
one.
luck with that.
Yeah.
Well, for Brexit,
No
lockdown
virus.
to Ukraine and fuel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, there are worse things going on in the world than our financial situation, but
Well,
it would be nice to have a.
It would be nice to have a bit calm, and I'm sure
Calm.
Ukraine think the same thing.
Yes, I'm sure.
The well, it's a challenge, it's a double-edged sword at our end of the market, which is usually a discretionary sell or a discretionary purchase. So it's not like a forced sell or they need to upsize or they need to downsize. This is somebody who's just considering it. In fact, most of the people we go and see decide not to sell right now, or they might decide that they're going to sell in 2-3 years. It's usually a long-term thought process, and we normally brought in at the very beginning of it, which is great. Because they can then make a considered decision. And because of that, I think the discretionary market is the market that's first hit. They say that like the luxury goods market can be hit first when there's uncertainty, because you wouldn't go and spend, I don't know, £10,000 a Prada bag. But you might go and, go to Next and buy a 50 quid bag or whatever. So there is going to be a section of the market that always gets hit by uncertainty. And I think the discretionary property sell market is the one that gets hit.
Yeah, quite possibly. But then what usually happens is, and same when with Brexit, coronavirus didn't really get a chance to do this, but it only really lasts, or tend to last maybe 2-3 months, and then people realise it's never as bad as forecast, or it doesn't impact them as they think it's going to impact, and then it comes back. But I remember as Brexit was announced that we had a few people call up and were uncertain, and the market died a little bit, and then it came back even stronger when people realised it didn't actually impact them as they thought it might.
And that's what happened as well with lockdown as well.
Yeah.
So we've been here before, seen it before. Obviously, every situation is a little bit different, but uncertainty in the market is always the same. Our job is to manage people's expectations, to make sure that we have the right homes for the buyers and vice versa. So that's really what we're focusing on, to try and make sure our stock, our portfolio of properties represents what the buyers are actually asking for. So if you know anybody who is thinking about selling at the moment, who has got a 600 to 800,000, then get them to talk to us, because now is a really good time to sell.
I don't know. 600 to 8,000.
That's true. Give it a punt, give it a guess. If it's a decent 3-4 bedroom house in the South Lakes, it's probably going to be over 500,000 now, which is good for some people. So thank you very much for watching this Ask AJ. If you've got any concerns or queries, or you want to know what Phil's take is on Ukraine and football and go-karting, then
Go-kart.
then ask. Where's his...
Go and get it, Isaac.
Yeah, come on.
Go on.
Yeah, go on. Go and get it, or I will.
We went go-karting last week, and Isaac came third, which To me, third's last.
Where's
I mean,
your medal?
If you're gonna come third, you may as well not. You
Black
may as
Eyed
well
Friday.
not. You may as well not turn up if you're gonna come third.
But
But as I've said to Isaac, winners win, and that's what happens, isn't it?
and everybody else is losing.
You just turn up and you win,
Cheaters cheat.
and you sometimes
You
you
can't
got to
cheat
do.
at go-karting.
You got to do what you got to do to win.
You can
That's
when
what it's
you're
about.
playing dodgems.
And
I was first lady, by the way.
what's that?
Last.
Fourth.
Yeah, last. It is,
I was
isn't it?
fourth, wasn't I?
Anything below first is last. I
It
agree
is.
with Phil.
I think I was fourth.
I would have come first.
Okay.
and
So
gone
thanks for turning up.
Anyway, we'll see you on the next Ask AJ, and yeah, have a good week.
Bye.